Good morning, scissor-wielding friends and strangers. This is Sarah from Pegasus Paper Co., and I hope you will join me today for a little chat about junk journaling in this gorgeous room, which I'm temporarily renting to craft in. It is sunny and bright, and the light is amazing, and there's a beautiful breeze outside. My favorite sort of thing that isn't a rainstorm, of course. And today's video, I should mention, is part of a big collaboration that was put together by Mandy and Justine from Junk Journal Ideas and Inspiration Facebook group, which is wonderful. I'll put a link in the description below in case you want to check it out. There are a lot of other groups and people joining in the collaboration, and what this is they've selected a number of papercraft journalers, and they've asked us all to create a little video sharing with everybody how we began journaling and got into the craft. And we've also been asked to share a little advice or a tip that we would give to any new crafter or something that would have been useful for us when we had started out. So that's what we're going to do today. And there will be some journaly kind of imagery in a moment, so just bear with me for a second. I came to junk journaling a little differently than a lot of people. I'm actually a trained fine artist, but I've always used a lot of different mediums, and I'm obsessed with books. So naturally, at some point, it was inevitable that I would start creating books in an unusual way, and junk journaling is the most unusual way of making a book I've ever seen in my life. I found it during the pandemic. I'd always made books, and I've even published some, but it had never occurred to me that there was this whole community of amazingly creative people just making these wild adventure books of just visual flair. I fell in love with it the second I saw it, obviously, and began making lots and lots of things. So I'll start with the easy question, which is, what is a tip you wish you could share with everybody? And this is just a little thing. Actually, I'm going to do two because I don't like following rules. So tip one is you don't actually need very much to junk journal, which is what's so great about the craft. I think my most basic journal that I ever made was with just a needle, thread, glue stick, and a bunch of paper. And that's obviously the more the merrier, right? I'm a maximalist, so I totally advocate for squeezing everything in there that you possibly can, but you really don't need that much to start creating something incredibly special. And another tip is if you're feeling precious about using an antique or vintage item and you're worried about messing it up, what I've done to get around that is I just scan it and work with a print of the item, and then I feel like I can preserve the antique paper without endangering it from people thumbing through it all the time, but it still has that beautiful aesthetic and it gets to be a part of the craft. Okay, and now the really big one. I'm going to share with you kind of a little peek at how I come up with my ideas. I was outside one day, and I have this thing with creatures where they just sometimes come to me when they need help or rescue or if they're not feeling well. So for a while there were all these sick butterflies coming to me for help, and one of them found me and would not didn't want to be put anywhere, so it ended up spending the whole day with me, climbing around on my shoulder and my hand. And at first I was taking it around and trying to show it all these different plants that it might be interested in living on, but it just really wanted to spend the day with me. Maybe it liked being warm, I don't know, although my hands are pretty cold. I don't know what it was, but anyway, the time I spent with this butterfly was so special. I love that peculiar interspecies dialogue, that wordless connection that you can have with other living things. And I wanted to create something based on this in a way that isn't fussy cutting all the way around these tiny little pictures of butterfly antennae, which is difficult. So I have a little trick. So I'm gonna turn this off. Hopefully the cat will find whatever it's looking for next door while we go into this little tip. A quick little trick that I have here. When you're fussy cutting butterflies for junk journaling or paper craft, people ask me all the time, how do you cut out the antennae? And I don't, because it's very difficult and takes forever, and I'm not that precise. So what I do instead is I just snip off the antennae, and then I'll flip over my butterfly, put on a tiny little dab of glue right where the head is, And then I'll attach 2 tiny little pieces of this very fine fly fishing thread, which gives it quite an ephemeral and natural, beautiful look. So there you have it, how to make butterflies. And now that you see how I make butterfly antennae, I'm going to show you one of the things I did with some of these, which was I love giving presents. So I make a lot of little gift cards and envelopes in addition to junk journals, although I put those in the journals too. But I started putting winged things on the cards, and it just delights people who have never had an introduction to journal crafting before because it's completely unexpected. So these are some butterflied and winged little mini envelopes I made. And now going a little bit in reverse, I'm going to just show you a space that really inspires me visually. I wish I lived here. I don't. I've stayed there recently. This is an incredible home designed by my uncles, who have been a massive inspiration to me my entire life, both for art and, oddly enough, junk journaling. When I was a kid, they used to take me to museums and shows, and it was just the most incredible thing. Everything beautiful that I saw when I was a kid that wasn't just part of the natural world came from spending time with them in their world. Going to New York, they would come swoop me up on these adventures and take me to New York and show me all of these incredible creations that people were making, and it really inspired me to become an artist. And recently they let me stay in this gorgeous home of theirs upstate, and everywhere you look it's just full of beautiful details. I mean, just unbelievably gorgeous stuff. So I wanted to show you some of this, and hopefully the variety of texture and material and color and just joyful combinations will inspire you for your journals as much as it's inspired me for everything I do in life. As you could see, you meet a butterfly in real life, you create a butterfly, you put it in an unexpected place. All these little things where an experience from the real world kind of transitions itself into your craft. Like, all of these things mean that anything we see that inspires us and is beautiful can be adapted into our work. So I hope that giving you a chance to see this beautiful space they've made will inspire you to look around in your life at anything that touches you and find a way to work it in with paper or ribbon or string or tassel. Whatever it is, just let the world inspire you. And let's make everything beautiful. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'm going to put links to the other videos where people answer the same questions below. And I just hope that you have a wonderful day. Take care.